Don't you just love the great outdoors? Wind in your hair, grass between your toes, and grand sweeping vistas to behold. Of course you do. As long as it doesn't actually involve going outside. I mean, I live in Scotland, guys. It's cold out there. No, of course, I am talking about open world games. Whether they are bleak post-apocalypses, exotic alien planets, or maybe even artful reimaginings of your favourite real-world locations, there is just something enchanting, reinvigorating, downright refreshing about losing yourself in the digital realm. And now with the PlayStation 5 offering far more in terms of diverse details, incredible loading times, and the expansiveness of the worlds we explore, it can be hard to pick out the best of the best. With all that power behind your dual senses, the open world genre has so much to offer. Hello there everyone, it's Aidan here from Push Square with a breakdown of the top 20 best open world games available right now on the PlayStation 5. And this particular list of 20 has been voted for and ranked by you. Well, maybe not specifically you, but the readers over on the Push Square website. Now to clarify, this list only includes games that are playable natively on the PlayStation 5, so you aren't going to find any Red Dead Redemptions here. But, you know, Rockstar, let's sort that, please. I was pleasantly surprised to be kicking off this list with Riders Republic. It's an amalgam of a game filled with snowboarding, biking, and of course, you guessed it. Actually, no, you probably didn't. Jetpacking. Ubisoft's all-in-one sports title is bursting at the seams with fun, trick-filled sports content, whether you are having a laugh with its riotous 64-player downhill races, or gripping onto those handlebars with some surprisingly immersive first-person biking. You'll be cursing its dude bro approach to storytelling, but when Riders Republic lets you loose, you'll do it all with a smile on your face. No one was questioning whether Rockstar would turn up in this list at some point. Of course it was going to be here. But it is a surprise that entry isn't Grand Theft Auto 5, it's actually Grand Theft Auto the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. Quite a mouthful there. This recent remaster launched to some scrutiny, but for many, after a collective of fixes, it was the perfect way to rediscover Liberty City, Vice City, and San Andreas. It's certainly an element of its time when considering the scale and look of these three games, but sometimes all you really need is a little nostalgia to cross into the realm of a digital world. Here we go again, indeed. We all do love a recreation of a real-world location in video game form, and that is why many people emphatically dove into Watch Dogs Legion and its near-future interpretation of London. For me, it didn't quite topple San Francisco from Watch Dogs 2, but being able to explore areas like the Camden Market or take a spin around the London Eye certainly made for an open world players were happy to get lost in. Plus, ensuing chaos through the streets of Westminster as a 73-year-old assassin is never not going to be entertaining. Okay, move over near future London and nostalgic throwbacks. How about you just tear things up as a super hungry shark? Maneater isn't a pick that we ever really expected to be here, but there you go. This title is more open seas than open world, but whether you are flipping, flopping, thrashing or chomping, players will have a hoot of a time as they wreak havoc on those pesky beach dwellers and ocean explorers. Get kills, get bigger, grow stronger and rack up those combos. Maneater is a bombastic and bloody experience you can sink your teeth into. The original Dying Light managed to capture a superb fusion of first-person parkour and melee combat that made its world an absolute delight to traverse and fight through. However, Haran wasn't always the most enchanting of locations. That's where Villador steps in, jumping years ahead in its zombie-fueled apocalypse. Dying Light 2 Stay Human expands upon the immensely satisfying parkour system and places it in a jaw-droppingly vast landscape that is rich with detail, incredibly diverse, and filled with disturbing little details. Being able to run along the rooftops and straight through skyscrapers 20 floors up is one of the rare cases that proves bigger and better can actually be a thing. The franchise that really perfected the open world formula has had a bit of a lull in recent years, and in many ways, Far Cry 6 is yet another iteration of what we got all the way back in 2012 with Far Cry 3. However, where places like Karat and Hope County may have failed to inspire, Yara is actually one of the most beautifully diverse settings this series has seen yet. With tropical sunsets, vibrant colours and bustling wildlife, you'll giddily wreak havoc as you wield thrown together weapons, ride everything from horses to tanks, and you'll do it all while leading the revolution at every turn. Assassin's Creed Valhalla really is the pinnacle of Ubisoft's attempt to morph the franchise into a full-blown RPG. While 9th century England might not seem like the most exciting of settings, especially when you have the Ptolemaic Kingdom of Origins and the mythology-inspired ancient Greece of Odyssey. However, with ancient Roman ruins scattered across the landscape of this frankly stunning looking game, Valhalla's world is brimming with dark tombs to explore, odd NPC interactions to come across, and even the crumbling colosseums of an early days London to discover. Valhalla's size is utterly enormous, so for those that are looking for it, there's plenty of world to take in here. People really love their Skyrim. I mean, honestly, the Elder Scrolls Skyrim Anniversary Edition is technically the 7th release of this 2011 Bethesda classic, and as the old saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. No, this next gen update isn't going to have you running out to the shops for an OLED display, or it isn't going to be celebrated as a whole new way to play Skyrim. However, it does add those additional bits and bobs of graphical and performance magic to warrant this unbeatable classic's place on this list. Whether you are waking up for the first time or the 100th, nothing quite beats losing yourself to the plains of Tamriel. The Pathless is a nice surprise to be included here as one of the more joyful entries on the list. From the developers of Abzu, the Pathless will see you face challenging bosses while near aimlessly exploring its calming open world thanks to its addictively satisfying traversal system. Not to mention you have journey composer Austin Wintory here seeing you throughout your epic journey to save the land with an excellent score. The Pathless is one of those open worlds that is a reward simply to exist in. Immortals Fenyx Rising somehow manages to be just another Ubisoft open world while being a complete breath of fresh air at the same time. You will explore Olympus in a hope to save the almighty gods, who turn out to be a bunch of bumbling fools. This tongue-in-cheek approach to Greek mythology means you will hear the likes of Zeus and Prometheus bicker yet inform as you come across various mythic tales on your quest. This makes for some light entertainment and lore-filling downtime, but it is the art style of Immortals that really makes it stand out. Going for a slightly cartoonish look, Olympus is one of the most vibrant worlds on this list, which happily takes on its fantastical design that keeps each of its unique districts feeling distinct. You will feel the urge to explore just to come across the game's smaller pockets of lore, which make it a joy to venture into the unknown. Okay, I know a lot of you may not be happy to see Cyberpunk 2077 in a top anything list, but hear me out. This long-awaited sci-fi epic may have majorly dropped the ball upon its initial release, but we're here in 2022, my friends, and things are a little different. After more than a year of updates and the eventual next-gen patch, Cyberpunk 2077 is the best it's ever been. Now, without all of the technical hitches along the way, it's clear to see the pedigree we're accustomed to from CD Projekt Red. Night City is a claustrophobic and grimy city where every alley, highway and industrial estate is filled with danger, death and a lot of cybernetic enhancements. 2077's world is certainly one more of disgust than disturbed wonder like The Witcher 3, but thanks to a dense level of detail, it remains to be one of the most immersive worlds the console has to offer. The Metro series has for a while been a staple of immersive yet claustrophobic survival horror. However, Metro Exodus stepped out into the light with the series' first near full ground level experience. The result is a gorgeous post-apocalypse that reels you in with creepy monsters, supreme sound design, and some fantastic hardcore mechanics. And for those worrying about the series completely ditching its linearity, Metro Exodus isn't quite on the same level of open worldness as some of the other entries on this list, with only certain areas open to players in between more traditionally linear levels too, so it really does have the best of both worlds. We all know that No Man's Sky has to go out there as one of the most ambitious games of all time. It has a redemption story that would make even Arthur Morgan blush, with a title that has slowly but surely become the one we were promised way back when. And while No Man's Sky might not be as focused or intricately detailed as some of the other games on this list, that's because it truly is infinite. Base building, you've got it. Multiplayer, yeah. Exosuits, they're here too. Pets, narratives, VR, alien settlements, oh, and not to mention an actual infinite universe. Need I say more? No Man's Sky lets you be who you want to be and do what you want to do, and really, there's nothing quite like landing on a beautiful yet dangerous planet knowing that you are the first person to ever see it. One of the latest spin-off entries to the Yakuza series, Judgement takes players back to the red light district of a fictional Tokyo. While it isn't the prettiest or the most impressive open world we've ever seen, it's the assortment of side activity that lines these streets that make the whole thing come alive. Whether it's replaying some classic Sega titles within an arcade, or even a chill game of darts, there's plenty to do within Judgement if chasing down a serial killer is getting to be a wee bit too much. Hideo Kojima made his PlayStation comeback with this, let's say, alternative open world post-apocalypse. Tasked with reconnecting the United States, sand bridges must endure barren landscapes and supernatural entities. Feeding away from your typical shooty, Death Stranding will task you with meticulously planning out your route as things like rivers, mountains and the dreaded BT-infested rain showers act as the game's big obstacles, and it can all be just as thrilling as any hardcore action scene. Only Kojima could make a game where you are a glorified delivery man and make it feel so good. It's weird, but this one will stick with you. We're rolling two into one here because Yakuza Like a Dragon and Lost Judgment share the same setting, with the latter actually additionally sharing the Kamurocho region with our number 7 spot, Judgment. However, here the focus is the Izazaki and Jincho region, and both offer very different vibes for the same locale, with one featuring turn-based combat and the other the far more traditional flavour of Yakuza gameplay. Both are topped off with the series flair for additional side content that you could lose yourself in for hours on end. The open world of Horizon Forbidden West is one of the most impressive looking the console has to offer, with dense woodland areas, crumbling cityscapes, and of course, lots and lots of dino robots. There is rarely a moment that Forbidden West isn't a feast for the eyes. However, the expansion of enemy types, combat mechanics, and its full-tilt sci-fi storyline expand the game's impressiveness beyond pretty looking visuals. And let me tell you guys, a world that allows you to explore it via the back of a robot pterodactyl is a good one in my eyes. Okay guys, we're in the big leagues now. We have Elden Ring up next. This is a game that has been enchanting players ever since it finally released this February, and even if you aren't a big fan of the Soulsborne genre like I wasn't, it's hard to turn away from what Elden Ring is offering. Switching out its more linear structure for an open world approach, Elden Ring doesn't resort to the use of quest logs or icon-riddled maps. Instead, you will simply be drawn towards some of these brilliantly haunting locales, whether those be endless misty wetlands or intriguing underground ruins. Every inch of Elden Ring begs to be explored, and each of those inches will be filled with something that cannot wait to kill you. Here's another example of more than one game sharing the same open world. Miles Morales and Spider-Man Remastered allowed players to swing to their heart's content through a stunning rendition of good old New York City. Whether you are playing during the autumnal months of the remastered game or the snow-capped wintry version of Miles Morales, New York is a delight to explore as you come across ceaseless criminals, endless amounts of Easter eggs, and plenty of Zen-like experiences as you swing aimlessly across the concrete jungle. Okay, so here we are. The readers have declared Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut as the #1 open world game on PlayStation 5. And really, who could argue with them? I've recently been delving into this Sony classic, and its art style, minimal HUD, and superb approach to storytelling and side content make it one of the most engrossing worlds out there. Whether you are facing off in some intense standoffs, taking in the sunsets, or just reflecting in a nice hot spring, Ghost of Tsushima will let players live out their samurai fantasies, and everything looks good while they're doing it. And that's it, the collective of the 20 best open world games on PlayStation 5. Let us know down in the comments below what order you would have put this diverse bunch in, and let us know which of your favourites didn't quite make the cut. And as always, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel for all things PlayStation right here on Push Square. I'll see you in the next one.